Hey, y'all. Hey, it's your girl, Morgan Renee, tuning in for another story time with more of my listen. Life is lifing, okay? And I needed to get grounded, so I found me some grass. I needed some sun. I got some of this good Florida sun. So I'm about to dive back into the latest book that I've been reading called Tryin to Sleep in the Bed You Made by Virginia D. Berry and Donna Grant. It's kind of, I won't say off from things I've read before, but it's not, I want to read several books at once is basically what I'm getting at, because I want to focus on some of the, there's a book called Plant Pregnancy, one of my Facebook friends wrote that I want to read. There's another one called Intro to Breaking Soul Ties by a lady named Art Kathy. It's a few different books that I want to focus on, more health and wellness or pregnancy or related things. But we can veer off and have some different reads. So because of the sun, I can't really see. So I'm not going to really be responding to comments. I'm just going to be reading. But if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do. It's my name, Morgan, M-O-R-G-A-N, Myers, M-Y-E-R-S. You'll see a red logo with a yellow M. You can even type in story time with more of my, and my playlist should come up. I have several books by Black authors on there. I am going to be venturing off to read books by non-colored people because there's some reads that I want to tap into. But just know that the first 200 books or readings have been by Black authors. So let's hop into it. We're on chapter 4. So again, if you need to catch up, you haven't heard the first 3 chapters, please go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So let's get into this book. Tryin to Sleep in the Bed You Made by best friends Virginia D. Berry and Donna Grant. Chapter 4 starts off, it doesn't like the titles or quotes, and it says hot fun in the summertime. Pat marched to the bow of the hulking white whale of a ferry. I'm old enough to drive, vote, drink, and I got my own damn self into Princeton. I don't need their damn permission. After hours of stewing in her own juices on the train and bus, she was still hot. Aunt Loretta, breathing fire, had laced into her good about leaving so suddenly. Like we don't deserve no kind of consideration? Pat tried to apologize, but nothing came out the way she wanted because random shockwaves from Marcus's kiss still jolted her brain. Aunt Loretta, however, had no trouble expressing herself. Just because you got yourself a fancy diploma don't give you the right to be ungrateful for getting where you came from is the surest way to end up with nowhere to go, young lady. I'm sick of acting like grateful is my middle name. The boat lurched on its way. Pat gripped the rail and studied the homes that dotted Woods Hole Harbor like Monopoly hotels. I don't need help every time I get a hangnail like Gail. I'll show them. The taste on Pat's tongue was as salty as she felt. Cool spray coated her skin, raising goosebumps on her bare arms. Goosebumps just like when Marcus caressed her with his hot hand. Suddenly she was back in that basement and her insides flash melted again. Stop it. She dug the Princeton sweatshirt out of her bag and yanked it roughly over her head. What is wrong with me? Pat fastened her eyes on the mainland, which receded with the dream at dawn. And the answer came like it was written on the surf. Yeah, she was legal, but aside from dry, closed-mouth kisses from boys who acted like she was the spin-the-bottle booby prize, nobody had kissed her until Marcus. It's time, that's all, time for a man. After her revelation, she went down to the concession stand, believing she had it all under control. You look like you're headed for the firing squad. What? Pat was startled by the raw, silky voice. She thought she had on her poker face, but this stranger had just read her like the comics. 2 Benson and Hedges menthol 100s. Fresh packs, not the dusty ones, okay? She winked at the clerk, then turned to Pat. Whatever it is, they won't shoot you. Pat smirked and ordered coffee, not the cheese curls she'd been thinking about. She felt rumpled next to the woman whose crisp copper safari jacket complemented her bronze-brown skin and her just-so figure. Just for you. The clerk pulled the cigarette straight from the carton. You're terrific. She leaned close to Pat. Like I didn't know the others were old as dirt. She pointed at Pat's shirt. You go to Princeton? Uh-huh. Starting in the fall. A freshman. So this is your breakout summer. I hope so. Pat was intrigued by the sparks that seemed to shoot off this woman. She wanted to know more. What do you do? I influence people's lives 30 seconds at a time. In other words, I produce commercials. She held out her hand. The short, neat nails were manicured, deep russet. Althea Satterfield. Her gaze was friendly but direct. Pat felt like she was being committed to memory for future reference. Patricia Reed. She extended her hand, which was grasped firmly, shaken twice, and released. Who are you staying with? Maybe I know them. Pat prayed she did. Ruth Cook. She's one of my old teachers. She hired me to help her finish work on a book. We haven't met, but you got yourself a working vacation. Smart. Pat wasn't sure why, but she was pleased Althea approved of her summer plans. They headed downstairs and settled on an empty bench. What's advertising like? Althea laughed. It was rich and deep, and Pat made a note to practice sounding like that. Like having a heart attack on a roller coaster, but I liked the ride. Pat soaked up the details of Althea's career. Right after college, she started at Comstock Gravitt Green as a receptionist who made it known she was far too talented to answer phones. You told them that? Pat was amazed. You gotta ask for what you want. How else will you get it? Within 2 years, she was a producer. Not bad for a Brooklyn girl from the Albany Projects, and I'm far from through. You grew up in the projects? Pat was fascinated. Yes, ma'am. Proud of it. Until now, Pat had never thought about advertising. The scholarship alums who returned to Southridge were always doctors or lawyers. Pat had pretty much decided to be pre-med because she liked the approving look she got whenever she revealed her plans. But late night sessions to meet impossible deadlines, travel to exotic locales, office intrigues, and seeing your work on TV, it sounded too exciting and glamorous to be work. A scratchy announcement instructed car owners to return to their vehicles. That means me. Have yourself a good summer and don't work too hard without playing harder. Maybe I'll see you around. I'm in Oak Blocks, just the weekend this time, but who knows? Althea winked and she was gone, leaving Pat feeling a little giddy. Miss Cook in her tan polyester pants. All right. Y'all still here? Audio isn't broadcasting. Finish the live stream and start again.